Our next guest is an author, an activist, an NBA Hall of Famer who brought the title to the Milwaukee Bucks the last time the Bucks won it all. The great one himself, the NBA's all-time leading scorer, the one and only Kareem Abdul Jabbar. Welcome to Stephen A's World, Big Time. How are you, sir? How's everything?
I'm doing very well, Stephen. How's it going?
I'm doing great, man. It's good to see you, and I got a lot of stuff that I want to talk to you about. First things first, though, how do you like what you're seeing from these Milwaukee Bucks right now in this NBA Finals series against the Phoenix Suns?
Well, I think they're working it out now. You know, they really had a problem there where, you know, Giannis would give such an incredible effort, and they still didn't manage to win games. And now they've kind of worked that out so that they got everybody involved at the right time in the right way. And when they do that, they're very much unbeatable.
They're a team that's been a roller coaster all season long. I mean, when you look at them, the things that work, they can do it one day and they're dominant, and then for some reason they'll go away from it. Do you trust that what you saw in Game 3 is something that will continue as this series progresses?
Well, you know, Stephen, that's why they play the games, man. You know, they play the games so we can find that out. They've got to keep that trend going. You know, they look real good the last game against Brooklyn, you know, because they got everybody involved. Lopez was involved in the right way. The guys shooting from the outside were involved in the right way. Their transition was working. Everything was a gel. So as long as that's happening, I got to give them I'd have to go with them and pick them as long as they're gelled like that.
Usually big men in the game, they love dominance. They love people who use their size, their strength, whatever their skill set may be, and completely take advantage and annihilate the opponent. I'm assuming you're one of those individuals, so I'll ask you this question. How do you feel, put into perspective, your feelings about Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, and the kind of player he is at this particular point in his career? Tell us how you feel about him.
Well, he's absolutely dedicated. You know, he puts his body on the line. He puts his heart and soul in it every game, every night. And, you know, that's why the guys appreciate him and play the way they do behind him, because he gives it all, and it's a great example for the team. As long as they're doing that and they've figured out how to gel and, you know, work the inside, outside, they're going to be a tough team, and you know, I've got to say I'd pick them to win.
Right now, I'm looking at the Phoenix Suns team that's saddled with a couple of injuries, mainly the Dario Saric, which has them thin on their front line. You look at DeAndre Ayton, he's pretty much the only big guy that they have. But it has me thinking about a particular subject that I was anxious to address with you as well, and that's the injuries that we've seen sustained throughout these playoffs. LeBron James has spoken out about it, talking about the bevy of injuries that took place, the fact that the team resumed so quickly after bubble play took place in Orlando this past offseason. When you see these players going down, what are your thoughts about it? Because I'm thinking about guys like yourself and others who exhibited such a tremendous level of durability. And I see guys in today's NBA game, obviously some injuries are very, very legitimate. Other times not an injury at all. It's just guys engaging in load management. What are your thoughts about all of that?
Well, you know, I think that the playoffs are what makes the NBA. You know, at the end of the season, they get the best teams and they duke it out. I mean, that's what the season should be about. So, you know, maybe they can cut down on the injuries. They might want to shave a few games off of the regular season. You know, they can figure out ways to do that, extending the playoffs into the summer like they have this year. You know, it takes more time. There's less stress on a daily basis. Maybe that might work. I don't know, but you know, we have to understand that we're all human beings, and there's only so much that you can do before you get injured.
I'm of the mindset, Kareem. I think the whole pandemic thing, there was a positive that came out of this for the NBA in this regard specifically. I'm a proponent of reducing the season from 82 to 72 games. And I love the idea of a season starting, let's just say hypothetically, a season starting on Christmas Day. The NFL is what everybody is engrossed in throughout the fall. I mean, outside of the basketball season, you know, are really, really kicking off. I mean, at the end of October, you really forget about it for the most part until Christmas Day. So I'm an advocate of starting the season on Christmas Day, letting it go a little deeper into the summer. summer and reducing it from 82 to 72 games. And I think that will work for all parties concerned. What are your thoughts about that?
You might have something there, Stephen. I think it's worth talking about, and it will definitely get a better return on all the investments that are being made in these guys' health.
Let me transition to you on a personal level because, I mean, obviously, you're a Hall of Famer. You're the greatest scorer in the history of basketball. We all know this. You're an activist. You're an author. Now you're an executive producer as well. Last month, there was a documentary that came out, my man. You were the executive producer of that documentary, Fight the Power. Okay? I mean, I got it right here. I made sure I wrote it down and everything. The movements that changed America. Talk to us about that and why that project was so important to you.
Well, it's a very important project because Americans often don't understand why we have a nation. We have a nation because Americans got fed up with paying a lot of taxes to the King of England and paying exorbitant taxes on their tea. They decided they would go and throw that tea into Boston Harbor. And ever since that time, we've had a real DNA of protest. So we've had a number of different protests. There was a horrible fire in the garment district in New York, and a lot of people got killed. A lot of young women got killed that worked in this garment factory.
Right.
And it enabled us to show everyone that we have to do a lot better for workplace safety. The suffrage movement, where women had to fight for the right to vote. And the suffrage movement was a movement of the majority. There are more women in America than there are men. Yet they could not vote, and it took them a long time to achieve that. Even when they did achieve it at the parade that they had in Washington, D.C., they made black women walk at the end of the parade because they were considered to be less than worthy. So we have work to do in this country, and that happens to be what I'm about most of the time.
Absolutely correct. What were you hoping to accomplish specifically? If somebody were to ask you to encapsulate it all and tell us what you were trying to accomplish with that documentary, what would you say?
I would say that all people who are marginalized, it doesn't matter what the issue is, children working in the workplace at 6 years old, the abuses that happen in various workplaces, let's say in mines where people got killed because of lack of safety, the lack of access for black and other people of color. All of these issues are based on the same thing. The fact that they can't see a way of treating everybody the same way. We cannot find a way to equality. That has to be what we are all about because that's what our nation is supposed to be about. And we have to keep fighting for that. So that's what I was trying, that's the point that I was trying to make, that we all, no matter who we are, no matter what makes us feel marginalized, there are other people who are dealing with the same issues, and we have to understand that and work to keep all of us free, because unless all of us are free, none of us are free.
How hopeful, how enthused are you that we'll ultimately become the kind of nation that you believe we should be and you hope we will become?
Well, Stephen, sometimes I see things progress, and I'm really moved by it, and I'm hopeful. And then I see backsliding and people basically trying to push our nation back into the 19th century. We can't have that. So we have work to do because nothing stays set in stone. We have to keep working until all rights are assured for all people.
Listen, before I let you get on out of here, let me get your pick. You going with your Milwaukee Bucks to win it all, or you picking the Phoenix Suns?
Right now, I'm going to have to go with Milwaukee. They seem to have solved the problem of Devin Booker, who shot the lights out for 2 games. So if they're able to continue to play good defense and get their offensive shtick moving in smoothly and fluidly, I think they have a great chance of winning.
Oh, before I let you get on out of here, I forgot to ask you. I'm sorry, I got to keep you for this last question. LeBron James recently made news talking about he doesn't want to go anywhere else. He wants to retire a Los Angeles Laker. He's already got one championship, Kareem Abdul Jabbar. We don't know if he's going to get one more, two more, three more. We don't know how long he's going to play. When you think about the greatness of LeBron, it's one thing to be great in terms of one of the all-time great players, but to be one of the all-time great Lakers, a lot of people believe is a separate category reserved for the likes of you, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, etc. LeBron James ends his career as a Los Angeles Laker. Where does that put him in the pantheon of Lakers, in your estimation, sir?
Well, I don't think LeBron has to prove anything to anyone, all right? He's won world championships now in 3 different locations. He's proven his worth and his brilliance. So, we're going to let LeBron define it for himself. I'm willing to let him do that. He deserves the opportunity.
Man, that's more than fair. The greatest scorer in the history of basketball, an activist, an author, an executive producer, the one and only Kareem Abdul Jabbar. Thank you for being on Stephen A's World, my brother. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice talking to you, Stephen.
All right, buddy. You take it easy. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.